Welcome back, everybody. We are back again in Spiritwood after a few episodes out in the Pirate Village. And today is a very special day because we are starting on the other side of the village. It also is I think day or two after Minecon. And not only that, there are some very, very cool things to do with the village upgrades and our village upgrades. It's just quite a coincidence that we are upgrading our village when there is an awesome update coming through that is going to be upgrading villages, which is very, very neat. So let's just take a step back. We'll have a look at this. And I've got some very, very, very cool things to be doing in this area, I hope. But I just want to go ahead and just walk around because there might be a few people who might not know this village. And it's a pretty neat looking village. And there's a few tips and tricks that I think I would like to at least show people. And not only that, hopefully, when the new villagers come through, they will have some sorts of things like this, and they certainly do. There's some very, very cool things. I was busy having a look at all the... What is this thing doing? Where did this wolf come from? There is no way this wolf... That's not a dog. That is actually kind of strange. But yeah, you can see where we cut off. This is where the love for the village stops. So we're going to have to get that done. And that's what we're going to get going on today. But yeah, there's a lot of cool little things that they're doing compared to these boring villages. You know, they've got overhanging roofs. They've got multiple level buildings. Oh man, it is so exciting. Like I haven't had an update that was this exciting since the last update, which I thought was the coolest update out yet. So this is going to be very, very exciting. Villaging and pillaging, or villager and pillager update to be exact. But I thought it was rather cool. So what I want to do in this episode and the future episodes, just for a little bit, is I want to come through and fix up this side of the village. A lot of people have told me that I need to do the interior of the inn. That could also be included in this. But I do want to go ahead and get this part over here, these two upgraded. I want to fix up this middle farming part over here. I feel like some gardens in there would be kind of cool. Nonetheless, we'll do that. I also want to get this area here fixed up because there's a giant crack in the ground, and it's basically a villager destruction tool right there because zombies come out of there. They haven't been that bad because we don't have that many villagers left. The only one that I have actually come around when I was just looking and trying to think of ideas for what we're going to do in this area is one that we trapped in over here. You can see that guy there. That one I actually forgot about. So we have hope in this village, even though I've lost yet another one after that. After the last one, we have hope for this village. There is still the ability to get more villagers, and we don't have to do any crazy transportation of them. So that is great news. So what I want to do, I just want to go ahead and kind of freestyle this, and then go ahead and also think about some cool things that have come around with this new super cool update. Oh, also, for forgetting things, but look at this. Look at that. I know some people might be, what the heck is that? What is going on, Jansey? This is the zombie Jansey skin. I made this last year for Halloween, and I thought, you know what? It's October. We may as well make the most of it and have green hands. Look at that. Green hands like that. I actually quite like the skin. It's got a little bit of character. You can still see it's still the Jansey we know, but green and a little bit more scary. So that's what we got for this month, and we'll switch back over. Don't worry. We got it in store, and in fact, I want to do some more holiday skins. I think they'll be rather cool. So what I'm thinking for this area, this is what I was thinking, because there's a few different levels that you can make a village. You can make it look good just by making your buildings look good. You could, for instance, just fix up the paths. You could, for instance, build double-story buildings. But what I think is one of the coolest things, and I've done this before in a village, my big city actually, my last world, which was making pieces where you can see different levels. So you can see people walking over the top, people walking under the levels. So in all fairness, it's a bridge. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Bridges, and it could extend that same concept over to maybe perhaps the instead of bridges, you could maybe say like overhangs just in general, and balconies and stuff like that. I think they're really, really cool, and that's what I want to get into. So what I want to do is I want to make some bridges. I actually need to get... I'm going to put that trident away next time I go. I don't want to ruin it. I know it's getting super low, and I haven't yet been lucky enough to find another trident, so we might have some troubles with that anyway. So what I want to do, let's try and see. Can we get a neat looking little balcony over here? Or Dang it, now look what I'm doing to myself. I'm ready messing up my words. A neat little bridge that goes across here, and it'll go across here. We can work on it. So we can say, we want to walk across here. We'll fix this area up, don't worry. Walk through here, and you can walk across, get over to this side, and then we can put on another story to this house. So we could have maybe a house on the top and a house on the bottom sharing the same foundation. I think that'll be rather cool. And of course, I just think that's a pretty neat thing to do. Just get the new levels on these things. So what I want to do here, let's just go around. Yeah, we've got a very basic build here. What I think would be good, let's try and get this house just looking a little bit more functional and try and work out where we want to put the door. I do want to keep it. I want to keep like this very stock standard shape just to have a little bit of that old school village vibe going on. Kind of like what we've got here, which we still have to update, but like we've built a tower out of it. Like how neat is that? That one there. We built a tower out the top. I think that looks so cool, and I want to just continue that, as I say. There's a little bit of Minecraft in our own version of Minecraft, so I'll quickly go and just spruce them up a tiny bit. So I haven't quite finished the whole thing, but I did end up doing the mountain that I said I was going to do. So I guess we got something done that was unplanned and something that isn't unplanned. But here we go. Let's just get through and start sprucing this place up a little bit, which is, I think, oh, oops, I was actually just about to say, I want to try and keep that guy in there for as long as I can, because you're a necessary villager, buddy. You're not going anywhere. There we go. I'll let that block despawn as much as I feel this need to fix that up. I'm not going to do it, but we're just going to make this a little bit more interesting than it was before, because why not? So here are a few cool little things, my thoughts at least, on this new update that we will be getting, which is I think actually 1.15. Maybe you guys can tell me what you guys think as well, and also more importantly if I'm right about the number, because I'm pretty sure 1.14 is like another update, and then there's a 1.15 update. I'm not 100% familiar with that, but I am 100% familiar with the fact that I think it's one of the coolest things that we can see in the game, which is going to be... Oh, what? Villager, yeah, you're really making me scared here, buddy. Maybe that's a sign. It's like we should probably let him go, but yeah, you can stay in there. Okay, you know what? If you don't cooperate, I will take this door away from you. You'll get it back later. But what I was trying to say is there are some really cool things that I was thinking that are like what would this update bring that will be different from what we immediately think, and I think they'll be really cool. Just think about some of the cool things that we might not even realize are happening with an update of this magnitude. Really, I mean, it's a pretty big deal when you think of how long villages have been around. That would have been the one that I would have stopped there to stop the villager. Like, villages have been around for a very long time, and they haven't been changed in a while, so we've all kind of got used to them being kind of eyesores and ugly little, like, things that you find, but they're very useful because they got villagers in them. But I think what would be really neat is the fact that now our worlds have actually got some cool buildings that at least, like, new people, or maybe people who don't build as much as I mean, I particularly do, will be able to have something pretty in their world without necessarily having to do much building. And I mean, hey, sometimes building's just not everyone's forte, and that I totally understand that. I myself despised building for a long time, so I totally get that. But I think that'll be really, really cool, just to see what people could perhaps do with other things without necessarily having to build. I think is a pretty cool thing. So what did I do? Did I do that one down? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. Just try and make this look a little bit more interesting. This is not going to be a super interesting house, by the way. I think the real interesting stuff's going to come from the top stuff. But I think that's really cool. And then not only that, also people who might not necessarily have tried their hand at building also may very well try their hand at some of the villages, which already look quite good. So I think that could be pretty cool. But then there's also the fact that there are a bunch of new villagers. I feel kind of crazy. You know, this is a typical Australian problem. All right, I pronounce my R's. I can't say it the proper way. I pronounce them R like that, and I think that's a necessary part of the Australian accent. But I realize how it really doesn't help when I'm trying to explain R's, and that really I struggle a lot more just saying that. It you know what, I could say it. It just feels really weird being such a foreign sounding sounds come out of my mouth. But You know what I mean. And the villagers are going to be updated per biome, which is also a kind of cool thing because there was a hint that there were, as far as I'm aware, some jungle villages, some taiga villages, which I think there is a taiga biome, but they were very snowy looking. So I don't know if maybe they were indicating like they're taiga. Maybe they could be in like a snowy biome, which would be really cool because they did look very snowy. So that could be pretty cool. And there was another one which I was thinking of, and I can't actually for the life of me remember it, but I think those would be really, really cool. Like just a bunch of villages. And then I've got questions after that. I mean, there's so many more questions about it. You could be like, well, do we, oh, actually this is where we have to start thinking about this. So I think we can maybe do something. Let's just we're just going to wing it. I know these are on a weird angle, but I thought about it and I think we'll have this so loops around there. We'll try and see what we can do. Challenge mode. But yeah, the questions. Like, do we, for instance, have different villages per biome that remain that type of villager in that biome? Or do you move them across biomes and they start changing over? I don't know. I think that would be pretty cool. Pretty interesting thoughts, at least, for me. I think they'll be pretty cool. So say, for instance, you had a jungle villager. Oh, I've just got to now try and work backwards with what I'm doing here. But say, for instance, you found one of those jungle villagers and then you wanted to, for instance, pull it over to another biome. Does it remain the same sort of coat on the villager? Does it change over? What happens if you breed villagers in different biomes? These are like questions that I can't say keep me up at night, but I have these questions and I'd love to know whether or not that will happen. Maybe I need to do this. Maybe I should do something like that. I feel like I'm going a bit too much with this dark oak, but we'll just do this and we'll check what it looks like. But those are just some thoughts I'm having with them. Maybe that will be a cool thing if they do maintain their stuff across biomes. I think that would mean you could really have a whole city of people that all look completely different. I think that will be a really, really neat thing, which, I don't know, I think that would add a lot to the game. I really do. I'm always down for a bit more new content in the game, and I know I'm normally quite held back on it. I'm like, yeah, don't change too much stuff, but I'm at the stage now where I think a lot of the stuff that they do like that doesn't hurt it. You know, it's not a fundamental new game necessarily, but it may very well be. I mean, I might underestimate it, but I think it may very well be a good change for the game for sure. What I need to do, let me just mirror this one over here. But here's another thought that I had, which was about the pillages, because that for I'm sure there might be people who might not have the information from Minecon just yet. So I'll give you guys a little rundown on that. So the idea is actually I see what I've done. I'll need to make this one a different one. There we go. But one of the things that came out was that they are now going to be these things called pillagers, which pillage villages, which I think is pretty cool. It's kind of like your Vex, or what are they? Illagers? That's it. That make the Vex things that come out. They like those, just like those. And what they're going to do is they're going to create another issue for villagers, which already, as you can tell, I mean, quite clearly, as you can tell, are not quite good at surviving. So I really hope villagers get a buff, like a big time buff. For instance, making them actually hit back, perhaps. Maybe if you punch a villager will punch you back, or something like that. Maybe, as far as I can tell, they run away from the videos that they posted at Minecon. So it seems like they're still going to be kind of just villagers the way they are. So I really do hope that we get maybe like an archer villager, which I've seen in modded Minecraft, which I think works pretty well. And that seems to do a pretty good job of keeping villagers alive. But we'll see what's going on. We'll see what they do with that. I really hope that we do get something though, because that's one of my main concerns with it. Because the iron golems, I had to. In fact, I just had to save that iron golem over there that's running around like an iron golem for that. Yeah, look at that. Like that guy's looking after all this. Slacking, if you ask me. If I could, I'd get another guy. So that'll be really cool. Now, let's check this out. I quite like it. I think this will work. Just a simple little thing. And then what we'll do is we'll clear this out. And then we'll have a neat little piece running up here. And these are like small details. Upgrading villages, which is what we're doing today. And ironically speaking about another form of upgrading villages. But I think that this over here, just doing these little things, makes such a world of a difference. In fact, I'm just going to sacrifice some materials. You, no, I want those. I don't know why I was about to get rid of them. That guy, and I'll just take these because dirt is actually quite a rare resource for me at the moment. I don't have much gathered, and I do use it every now and then. So I guess I'll just keep that safe. But I just think overall this update's going to be a super cool update. I'm really excited just to see the game change in what I think is a fairly positive way, and not to mention just seeing updates that seem to be coming regularly, which is something which we haven't seen for a few years, and hopefully, oh, here we go, here is some thinking for us, hopefully it continues, because I love it, I really do, and in fact, I haven't been as excited since, I mean, you know what, horses, in fact, those were one of the things that made me move over to, Java edition, was because I was playing on console and I don't think we had horses yet. So I was like, well, that looked pretty cool. And I think that was 1.6 or 1.7 or something like that. Way back. Way back. But I think now it's definitely going to be a fun time for some of the updates that we've got coming up here. So let's just quickly get a bit of texture in this because I can't leave this untextured, looking just all cobblestoney the way it is right now. Let's do that. And I did prepare stuff as well, just because I knew what. I had a plan. That's what I did. I had a plan for what we may do, and it seems to have worked this episode so far, just with what I wanted to do with this area. Let's just check it out. Yep, looking good. Just a little bit more texture in there, and just very simple things to upgrade this part. So let's do a little bit there, and I had some cracked ones, which I freshly baked. Okay, you go over there. No, there, sorry. You guys go back to doing what you were doing. There we go. Okay, so let's check that out. See what I mean? So we've got this piece that you'll walk over. In fact, I think we maybe need to appreciate it a bit further back because that's where we probably will, or from those. So something like that. Yeah, you've got that little piece going over there, and then you walk under it, you can walk over it. That's just what I mean about like the different levels that we could be playing with on this thing. So I really think that's a cool little thing to do to villages in general. In fact, villages in general really seem to be my jam, and I've only just kind of realized it now. But it's true. They totally my jam. Now let's take a look at that. I feel like that might be a bit much, but we'll see how that goes. Now, the next thing, I'm going to take this down a little bit. It looks a little bit too squashed, and then we're just going to kind of fix up this area, make it a little bit less rough. And also, by the way, this house, ignore it for now. It looks a little bit ugly. And by a little bit, I mean, it looks like default villages in Minecraft, but not for too much longer ugly. And I do want to fix that up, but that's like a whole other episode. I've got big plans for that because we're going to build a roof on top. We're going to be doing a whole bunch more stuff than just that sort of stuff. All right, so it's time to add a bit of color into this place, and that is something that we try and do with every build. Now, what we are looking at is where this place once had a little bit of a farmland like that, which is also bound for destruction, but currently what we're doing is we're just trying to get this piece here to work. So we just want the path. Really, this was about the path. The main part about this was getting from here to there and back again. And I've just done this neat little thing here, and what I want to try out is adding in a little bit of something. Oops, there we go, shift, there we go, and just trying to add a little bit of something over here that'll make this area feel a little bit more interesting. I think maybe not leaving something over there. So if we do something like this, and we use carrots and other things that have color in them, really, just to make this place look a little bit more colorful, that's going to help it so much. And you gotta trust me, this is when it grows up, it's going to look really good. And maybe we could do something like this, just to add in a bit of red, and then we'll go down another layer over here, maybe add a few leaves around the corners. And what you'll see will happen, in fact, I want that. I don't know why I need to 4 of them, but I want that over there so that as we go around here, we'll have these growing here. And you won't even notice that there's a block drop down there once everything's grown up. And we'll just go ahead, get all those, and there. Now, I'm actually just thinking, I've removed the water. I've got a hunch. There's something cool maybe happening over there. And ignore the really horrible background. I'm going to fix that. I will fix it at some stage. It's just not yet. So is there any... I think there is a water source over here. Well, you know what? I don't need that there, so I'll just take it. I've got a hunch that if I do this... can I just do that? There. Yeah, that should, if I am correct. In fact, can I just do it over there? I'm pretty sure if I shift it on there. Okay, that'll work. So I should be able to hopefully get these. I'm pretty sure that is happening. These to all be properly watered. So success. We've got one thing planned out. Then what we do is we'll just do it over here as well, which I think the same sort of stuff will happen, and we'll just go ahead and put all of those in. So this is just hopefully getting the crops to look a bit more interesting. We'll maybe add a few beets in and take the most colorful crops. So here's another thing which I think will be really cool. Having some more crops in the game. That would be really cool. If we could get that added with this next update, that would be neat. I don't know. I just think that having the beetroots were kind of a weird one. Like they didn't do too much, but I wouldn't mind some more like that. Just some more colors, more things which we can add around the place just to make them a little bit more interesting than what they were to begin with. So we'll cap that off there, and take a step back. Yeah, we need to get a bit of bone meal in this. And there you have it. With the magic of bone meal, we have got ourselves a very colorful, interesting looking area up the top here, which has kind of left the village farmland in place, but also upgraded it quite a lot. And I think that's kind of cool. And you can leave a little bit, as I say, with those structures like that in there, where we can keep a bit of the old village, a bit of the new village, all coming together. It's really going to be super cool. In fact, you know what? This over here is bugging me. I was meaning to do it earlier. I'm just going to put this one block down. It was just the one that was out of place. You know, sometimes you just got to be a bit over the tops, and there we go. There it is. So I think what we have done today, which is really creating an interesting path slash just covering a whole area, I think that has worked very, very well. And I've also replaced this guy's door, so yeah, he can have a fun time. But that will be us for today, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed just these little bits and pieces here. If you guys do have any thoughts on the villages that are being updated, let me know, because I'm very interested in what you guys think it means to the game, because I personally think it's a very, very cool thing, a very, very good thing. And I know most things have kind of like an up and a down. I personally only really see up for this one. So let me know what you guys think about that, but I will be seeing you very, very shortly, guys.